In the engineering profession, your success is probably 70% based on your ability to communicate effectively. If you're doing a job for a manager or someone else, you've got to be able to communicate to them the results of your efforts. And then very often engineering involves going out after money, and you've got to be able to sell whoever has the money with the idea that you can do something that makes it advantageous for them to part with some of their money so you can do your job. In the laboratories that I teach, the writing is essentially the complete score. That is, in the laboratory classes, they do experiments, and then they have to write the experiments into a report and submit the report, and they're graded to a significant extent on the quality of the writing in addition to the technical quality of what it is they've done in the laboratory.
So in mathematics, there are usually two different kinds of writing projects that get assigned. In the lower level classes, so for example, in say quantitative reasoning class, Math 1030 or something like that, I usually assign my students a project about geometry in the real world. So they have to go around and take pictures of geometric objects in the world around them, and then write a little summary of what they had about the geometry that they see and the objects that they have. So papers like that in math history classes, they'd write like a research type paper about certain mathematicians and some of the math that they've done. But then there's another component when you get into theoretical math classes. They prove a lot of theorems, so they have to write proofs, which is a very different kind of writing. So it's the logical rigorous argument, validating whether or not a statement is true, but it has to again be through these logical steps, so conclusions. So you can draw from definitions, previous theorems, and things like that. So those are the two main kinds of writing assignments that get assigned in math classes.
I do assign writing projects. It's important in geology, in any science. Writing is really important for graduate work in academia and also industry. I've worked in a couple different industries, the oil and gas industry and the environmental consulting industry. And in both of those positions, almost my entire job was to write. And so writing I see as a vital part of this degree, geology, and really just any degree coming out of college. I think it's vital.
Well, as I teach English, I do require quite a bit of writing. When I teach the composition courses, the majority of the class is writing based. Most of the assignments are written papers or other forms of writing. But in other English classes, when I teach literature, I still require quite a bit of writing. In the survey classes, I have exams, but the exams are essay exams. So there's in-class writing. They have to do a written presentation, which is they write the paper first and then they read the paper. I find that's more effective. So I would say with most of my courses, if I average them all out, it'd be about 80% of the coursework is written work.
They have to do a lot of journaling, so that would be pretty informal. And then other classes, they have to do a senior thesis, and that of course is extremely formal. And then so in that class, the senior thesis class, it's an empirical research report, coupled with a fairly extensive literature review. And in between, I have some assignments where students do a relatively short literature review, and other classes where they do empirical research reports, but not to the level at which they would do it for the senior thesis class.
Okay.
So that constitutes most of them.
Okay, I have two formal ones in the syllabus. There are others, sort of impromptu writing during the class time, but the two that I have assigned, the first one is a communications project, where the students learn therapeutic communication by interviewing a family member or friend on a medical topic, but the the medical topic is not really the point of the assignment. It's how they communicate with that person. The second one is a personal health behavior change plan, and they take something that they want to work on themselves in their own health. It could be psychological health or physical health, and over the course of 7 or 8 weeks, they choose something that they want to improve upon, and they keep track of that, and then they produce the results in a paper.
So I give them low stakes assignments, low stakes writing assignments, and high stakes writing assignments. The low stakes ones are the every chapter's assignments, and the high stakes one are the final research paper, and the what I call the dance concert critique or video critique. But for this dance concert critique and video critiques, I want it to be informed and well validated criticisms.